survive. Now, Abdullah Hussein is a Kenyan and has worked for Doctors Without Borders, MSF, in Yemen, South Sudan, Iraq, and most recently in the Central African Republic, where he has been MSF's head of mission. Abdullah, good evening and welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, Abdullah, I understand you've just come back from the Central African Republic, and this is a country that we normally receive scanty information on their status. Can you perhaps give us a status update of how the situation is on the ground? Because we're getting report that the conflict is now escalating to areas, known to be peaceful before.
Yeah. Well, actually, as you did the introduction, Central Africa has been in this violence for a long time. What we have seen is since 2017, there has been a change in the cycle of violence that's happening around the country.
Mm-hmm.
There were many places that were affected, and MSF has been highlighting in this new change of the conflict since 2017. And what we have seen since April is that the violence has gone to places like Bangui and Pambari, which have been considered until now the safest places in the country.
Now, Abdullah, this is a country that is otherwise supposed to be one of the richest, I believe, in Africa, because they have a very, they're very rich in natural resources. But because of the ongoing conflict, apparently millions have left that country, about 2.5 million people. And I understand that half of the population need aid. How bad is it?
Well, actually, what is happening is that the violence that was happening since late 2016, 17, and now early 2018 has pushed a lot of people out of the country. Where now we have 1.5 million people that are displaced. Half of those people are in the neighboring countries, and the rest are internally displaced. In fact, 40%. There was 40% increase of the IDPs, what we call the internally displaced population in the country, and those people are mostly in places that are not reachable because of the security situation. And humanitarian actors, the humanitarian workers, also as civilians, they are facing similar problems of insecurity while they are trying to reach populations to assist. So basically, that's what we have seen. And for the last years, MSF, we are running around 12 programs around the country in 9 of the most unstable places around the country, and we on daily basis witness this violence against the civilian population. Last year, we had 40 incidents that were against personnel, patients, and against the ambulances that are bringing patients to hospitals. So we do see not only against civilian population, but the people assisting civilian population are facing a quite difficult situation of insecurity.
Situation there. Now, Abdullah, perhaps can you tell us what is the international community saying about the Central African Republic? Because those on the ground who are saying basically that attention has now shifted to other emerging issues across the world, be it in Yemen, Syria. Is Central African Republic getting enough support from the international community?
Well, generally, Central Africa is at the moment one of the major humanitarian crises around the world. Because of the scale and the complexity of that it entails to provide assistance to populations in need, and of course the violence is not new. Since 2017 there was a violence, but it was different degrees. Now what we see is that there is the new cycle in Bangui, as you mentioned in your introduction. In April, we had in just a matter of 1 month 200 war wounded in the hospitals run by MSF, and we have been facing a lot of difficulties to access a phenomenon that they call now an enclave, which means a pocket of population inside the city, which are surrounded, and we could not reach the wounded civilians that are inside that enclave. So basically, the Central African Republic is a major crisis, and the violence what we are seeing on the ground is not improving.
Thank you very much, Abdallah, for your input. That is Abdallah Hussein, who's the MSF head of mission, Central African Republic, giving us some of the latest development there from that country. And that interview brings us to the end of the part one of this program. But we'll return with much more, including that interview I've talked about earlier with France Celestine. We're going to talk about the labor mobility in Africa. I believe there's a symposium that's supposed to start right here in Nairobi, Kenya, starting tomorrow. Of course, you'll be watching Bottom Line Africa, but here is Destination Africa.